This is the Midea Duo 12,000 BTU Ultra Quiet Portable Air Conditioner, and I've been living with it long enough to have real opinions, quirks included. I set it up in a mid-size room that doubles as my home office and recording space, so I'm picky about noise, airflow, and how fast it actually cools. The headline feature here is the Duo hose-in-hose design and the inverter compressor. In plain terms, the hose pulls fresh air from outside to cool the internal parts and pushes the warm air back out. That means the unit isn't stealing already cooled air from your room just to cool itself. Paired with the inverter, which lets the compressor ramp up and down instead of only blasting on or off, you get more consistent temperatures, less energy waste, and a softer sound profile. Key features that stood out to me start with how it integrates into a window. The kit is sturdier than I expected, with a sliding panel and foam pieces to seal gaps. I'll be honest, the first time I installed the foam padding, I'm pretty sure I flipped one piece around. It still sealed fine, but I did go back later and tidy it up because the better the seal, the better the performance. I didn't need to cut anything, and I didn't drill into my window frame. The hose locks into the panel with a twist and feels secure. It took me about 20 minutes after watching a short tutorial, and I'm not handy. I like that I can take it down just as easily if I need to move rooms. On the unit itself, the layout is simple. The control panel is clear, the buttons respond fast, and the remote mirrors everything on the top panel. The app control is where it clicked for me. I connected it to Wi-Fi in a few minutes, and since then I've managed it from my phone, including turning it on before I leave the gym, so the room is cool by the time I'm back. I can switch between cool, dry, fan, or auto, adjust temperature, set a timer, and toggle sleep mode. If you're new to these terms, cool mode does the actual cooling, dry mode focuses on removing moisture when the room feels sticky, fan mode just moves air without cooling, and auto lets the unit decide what it needs to do to reach your set temperature. Sleep mode reduces fan noise a bit and slowly relaxes the set temp overnight to save energy while keeping you comfortable. From my experience, noise was the big test. I record voiceovers, I edit video, and I can't stand a mechanical drone in the background. At low and medium fan speeds, it blends into room noise better than any portable I've used. The airflow has a tone that's more like a soft whoosh than a raspy rattle. I noticed a quick high-pitched sound on a few startups, almost like a brief chirp as the compressor ramps. It fades quickly and doesn't happen every time. I can't say if that's my specific unit or just how the inverter spin-up sounds, but it hasn't been a deal-breaker. When it's pushing hard in the hottest part of the afternoon, the fan is obviously louder, but it still doesn't have that harsh, uneven cycling that older portables have. The steady ramping is easier on the ears. Cooling performance feels strong. BTU, if you're new to it, is a simple measure of cooling capacity. 12,000 BTU in a portable like this is aimed at medium spaces, and it's been plenty for my roughly 300 square foot room with average sunlight. On a humid 85 degrees F day, I set it to 74 degrees F and saw the room drop to comfort zone fast enough that I didn't start sweating through my notes. The temperature doesn't bounce around. It drifts down, then the inverter holds it in a tighter band. Airflow is directed and reaches across the room. The louver movement is not super fancy, but it gets the job done. If you angle the hose straight and keep kinks out, it breathes better and cools faster. I learned that the hard way when I shoved it too close to a shelf and accidentally pinched the bend. Straightening it out made a big difference. A detail I appreciate is moisture management. Portable ACs pull water from the air as they cool. With this design, in cool mode, a lot of that moisture evaporates and goes out the exhaust, so I haven't had to drain a tank during normal cooling. In dry mode, depending on your climate, you may need to drain water occasionally. There's a drain port near the bottom, and it's simple to open with a low tray or shallow pan. If you live in a very humid place and plan to run dry mode often, consider a small, dedicated drain line into a container. The smart features have made day-to-day use easy. I paired it with Alexa and Google Assistant in minutes and can say, "Turn on the AC" when my hands are full. Schedules work, but I mostly rely on geofencing-like behavior through routines, so it cools when I'm on the way home. The app responsiveness is instant. If I tap power, the unit reacts right away. I like that I can nudge from 75 degrees F to 79 degrees F without leaving my chair, or say 72 degrees F on recording days and 76 degrees F when I'm just working at the desk. The temperature readout seems honest. It matches my room sensor within a degree or two. In my opinion, the build quality is solid. The casing feels sturdy, the wheels roll smoothly, and the hose connection doesn't wobble. It is heavier than the older single hose unit I replaced, which makes sense since there's more going on inside. I can still move it solo on hardwood without drama, but lifting it upstairs is a two-hand job. The power cord length works for most layouts, though I wish it were a touch longer so I could stay off a particular outlet behind my bookshelf. The remote is simple. I do wish the buttons had a backlight for late-night changes, but the app solves that. There are a few things to keep in mind. The window panel fits standard sliding windows well. If your window is extra wide, you might need to add the included extender or get a compatible extension. Seal the edges carefully. Any gap lets hot air creep back in, which makes the unit work harder and feel less effective. Also, give the intake and exhaust on the hose some breathing room outside if you can. Crowding the outside end behind shutters or into a tight well lets hot air recirculate and reduces performance. None of this is unique to this model, but the Duo design benefits more when the airflow is clear. It's perfect for apartments or rented spaces where installing a window AC isn't possible, for home offices where you need quieter cooling, and for bedrooms where overnight noise matters. It also suits anyone who wants app control and quick temperature changes without walking over to press buttons. If you're brand new to portable ACs, think of it as a standalone cooling box on wheels that vents heat outdoors through a window. The difference with this one is the smarter airflow and the inverter, which together make it feel less intrusive day to day. From my experience, energy use has been reasonable. I run it many afternoons and into the evening, and my smart plug shows smoother, lower peaks compared to my old on/off unit. That lines up with how an inverter should behave. Less surge, more steady draw, and fewer loud cycles. If you want to squeeze out the most efficiency, set a realistic temperature like 75-76 degrees F. Keep doors closed, and make sure the window seal is tight. Cleaning the filters is quick. Pop them out, give them a rinse, let them dry, and slide them back. I've been doing that about once every few weeks during peak pollen and dust. I'd recommend this for people who want portable cooling without the usual roar, anyone sensitive to noise while working or sleeping, and folks who care about smart control and a clean install. If your space is much larger than medium size or gets blazing sun all day, you might need to temper expectations or look at a higher capacity unit. But for a typical bedroom, office, or studio, this has been more than enough. In conclusion, the Midea Duo 12,000 BTU Ultra Quiet Portable Air Conditioner has earned its spot in my setup. The cooling is steady, the sound profile is easy to live with, and the app control is genuinely useful, not just a marketing line. The brief, high-pitched startup I hear sometimes is my only real nitpick, and it hasn't affected reliability or comfort. I like the way it looks, I like how it fits the window without a mess, and I like that I can adjust everything from my phone. I've used a handful of portable units, and this is the one I actually leave running while I work because it stays out of my way and out of my audio most of the time. You can find detailed information about the Midea Duo 12,000 BTU Ultra Quiet Portable Air Conditioner in the comments section. See you in the next video.